This video is going to cover how the Koronot inflate works. One complaint that Castlevania 4 speedrunners have is that after they beat Koronot, it seems like it takes a random amount of time to inflate, and they need that to be consistent because you want to jump off the left platform at the end of the fight or the right platform and grab the orb to end the level, and with the inconsistency on the inflate times, you can't really do that. So the good news is that it's not random, and I'll explain a little bit more about how it works. So in the top left, I have a memory watch. The one in the top left is Koronot's size. So at the beginning of the fight, he starts at size 128, and then as you keep hitting him, he actually gets smaller throughout the fight. The number's kind of backwards from what you'd expect it to be, so as he takes more damage, he gets smaller, and the Koronot size value gets bigger. And so, as we all know, you get him down so tiny that what he eventually does is he gets too tiny, and then it triggers this bizarre reaction where he gets so big that he explodes, or however you want to think about it. So what's kind of significant, though, as far as like why he takes so long to inflate sometimes, has to do with what the number does. So at the end of the fight, so I'm going to finish him off now. What happens is that at the end of the fight, he gets so big that he, explodes, and what's going on from the game's memory perspective is that the number for Koronot's size, it was getting big, the number's getting larger throughout the fight, and then when you finish him, then the number has to get smaller. So it actually starts counting down. And once the number counts down to about 60 or so, then it's going to suddenly drop off. But yeah, so he's going to get so big, and then it'll start to drop off. And then once he leaves the screen, then the orb appears. And so on. So one thing I was noticing during the fight is that if you wait a certain amount of time and then finish him off, he's always going to take the same amount of time to inflate. It's always going to be counting down from the same number. But speedrunners were noticing that sometimes he takes like a really long time to deflate. The reason for that is because of how the value kind of behaves when he takes damage. So right now we're starting the fight, he's at 128. So you might have noticed that when you hit him, he kind of shrinks for a little bit and then bounces back. Do it after he gets down. So I hit him. Watch what happens to the number. So I hit him. The number kind of jumps up to 192 and then jumps back down to 56. I'll do it again. It's at 228. And then it jumps down to 168. Watch what happens to his size. So he shrinks for a little bit, and then he goes back up. It's not the best, but you can kind of see it. So shrinks, and then he bounces back up. So when that's happening, what's happening to that RAM address is that it's spiking for a little bit, and then it's leveling out. And that's basically the cause of the long delay on the inflate. He shrinks, so if I hit him, the number gets to be a huge size, and then it drops down 8 per frame before it finally gets there. Or it gets to the leveled out number. So, I'm rambling for a bit. Let's actually give you like a demonstration. So, in this scenario, I'm on the last hit, and so when I finish him, he's going to count down the inflate at 384 and then go all the way down to 0, and that's how long it's going to take. I've got another save state, though, where here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit him 2 times in very close succession. So I'm going to throw the cross, and then I'm going to hit him to finish him. Okay, so you can see from the health value he's dead now, and Notice though, I hit him like right next, two times right next to each other, and so his size value spiked from the hit, and then my second hit finished him. So now he's going to do the inflate, only this time he's going to be counting down from 444 instead of 384. So that's a full second difference between the two. And so now this time he's got to count all the way down from 444, so it's pretty much going to take an extra second for him to go through that inflate cycle. And that's why it behaves the way it does, is because when you hit him, the number spikes, and then if you hit him again in close succession before the value has a chance to level out, he's going to have to count down the inflate from a much larger number, so it's going to take a lot longer. So it may actually be worth delaying the last, give him a delay before you finish him off with the last hit. How much of a delay? I probably need to research it, but that's kind of the idea behind the randomness of the fight. And so you kind of have to coordinate that with what the left and the right platforms are doing. So those aren't random at all. They move opposite each other, and they start from the beginning and end of the fight. So it's going to be a little tough to coordinate because some of the stuff that Koronot does is in fact random, and it's tough. But the good news, like I say, is there's no randomness to the inflate. It's just whether or not the value of his size has a chance to level out before you finish him off. That's what determines how long it takes to inflate. So yeah, that's it. Good luck, Castlevania 4 speedrunners.